Hey guys and gals, thanks for joining this video. Thanks for watching this video. I don't know. It's not always easy to talk to a camera. There's a lot of trouble being authentic. It's amazing when the camera turns on how immediately you want to be something else. Authenticity matters. And that's actually what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about the intersection between authenticity and responsibility. You hear a lot about authenticity today, that we want authenticity in our politicians, we want authenticity in our pulpits, we want authenticity in our doctors and in our therapists and in our friends and in ourselves. There's a lot of effort to be like, I'm authentic. Actually, in the book Black Sheep by Brent Mansour, where he challenges you to find your 5 black sheep, those 5 things that are foundational to who you are, one of mine actually is authenticity. I have an acronym for my 5 black sheep that is hope, authenticity, truth, creativity, and humor. And those are actually 5 of the values, or the 5 values, that I want to guide this channel. So you'll hear me talk a lot about hope, and you'll hear me talk about authenticity, but more importantly, I hope that you'll see me demonstrate authenticity. So there's a lot of effort to become authentic. I'm 44 years of age now. Some of you watching are younger than that. Maybe some of you watching are older than that. For sure, that's everybody watching is probably older or younger, unless you're exactly 44, in which case, well done. But when I was younger, I wish someone would have taken the time to tell me that authenticity matters, but so does responsibility. Actually, the background that I came from, if it was weighted more heavily in one area, it was weighted on the responsibility side of things. We heard a lot, fake it till you make it. Show up and do the right thing. And there's a lot to be said for that. It didn't really matter whether it was authentic, just do the thing, follow the system. Here's the formula, and everything will work out just right. I was recently listening to an interview by Seth Godin, or he was being interviewed, and he was talking about this idea of authenticity. And I think it's important to him, but he said, authenticity isn't everything. There are times when authenticity needs to take a backseat to responsibility. For example, if you're having brain surgery and your surgeon just had a fight with his wife before he came to the hospital to do your brain surgery, you hope he'll show up and be professional and take his responsibility seriously. You need him to be professional more than you need him to be authentic in that moment. He may authentically be having a bad day and want to lash out at everybody, but you don't want him to lash out at you. And when I heard Seth say that, I thought, that's true. That's accurate. I think that's right. So it can be the case, and maybe some of you are struggling with this, where you're just showing up and doing the thing. You're doing the work. And you're always trying to just be responsible and do the thing that's required of you to do. But you're struggling maybe because on the inside, you don't feel like you're being authentic. Like what you're doing doesn't match who you are. And that can be a real challenge. In fact, one of the quickest ways to becoming angry and maybe even depressed is to live consistently contrary to the reality of who you are. When you're living a lie, that's stressful. It's hard to keep that up. Unless you're a narcissist, it's hard to keep that up. Maybe a professional con man can do that. Even them, I don't know how long you can do that. And we see so many examples of this. In my background in the church, you see a lot of examples of this in churches where people who are in leadership positions, celebrity pastors, and even pastors of smaller churches crash and burn. And you're like, I thought everything was going great. Where did this come from? The problem was that their public presentation didn't match who they were authentically, or wasn't authentic with who they actually were. And if it doesn't destroy you emotionally, sooner or later, it's going to trip you up. In the Bible, there's this statement that says, be sure your sin will find you out. This missing the mark, this inauthentic life. And so I think that responsibility matters, but so does being able to live in an authentic way. I talk about anger a lot. I have a whole playlist that I'm building on the topic of anger and dealing with anger, because it was something that for a lot of years I struggled in the grip of it, like maybe some of you are. And part of what it was for me was that I was having to maintain a system that was contrary to who I was authentically. Now, this doesn't have to mean that what you're doing is wrong or who you wish you could be is wrong. It could even just be like, I don't know, it could be related to your personality. So on the DISC personality profile, I'm on the people side of things, but I'm a yellow with a little bit of green. I love adventure. I love new things. I love relationships, but not too much. I'm easily distracted, that shiny object syndrome, and I'm never going to be a highly detailed person. In fact, when I started this YouTube channel, I decided I was just going to be authentic. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on thumbnails and a little bit of time on algorithm and all of that. But I knew that if I tried to be too detailed, I would lose interest and I would get frustrated. So if I had to have a job where I was constantly having to maintain systems where it was the same thing over and over and over and there was never an end to it, I'm out. Like, I can't do that. And if you tell me I have to do that, I begin to get agitated because I have adventure. I build things. I'm an idea guy. I'm a dreamer. But I'm not a detail person. Now, I think we can learn to do better at the areas of our weakness, but the happiest you're ever going to be is when you lean into who you are authentically. I wonder if you even know who you are authentically. I didn't when I was in my 20s. I didn't because no one challenged me to find out, because the system that I was in was one where we were just told, just show up and do the work. Show up and do the work. How you feel about it doesn't matter. And again, it's not all wrong, but it's not all right. And the anger and the frustration that I experienced very nearly destroyed me. So what would I want to say to you? How would I want you to do it differently? How would I want to encourage you? It would be like this. 1, find out who you are authentically. Now, I'm setting aside, I know that there'll be people, especially in the Christian community, who are like, well, who we are may not be good, we're just sinners and all that kind of. I'm setting all of that aside. That's a discussion for another day. I'm taking for granted that you're not secretly a mass murderer or secretly trying to destroy the world around you. I'm taking for granted that you want something that's good and decent and wholesome, that you want success, that you want to build something. Okay, so I'm approaching it from that angle. So the other stuff is set aside. Can we do that? I think we can. Find out who you are authentically. What personality you have, what drives you, what motivates you, what your values are. Again, remember mine are hope, authenticity, truth, creativity, and humor. Those are the things that when I'm doing those things, that lights my fire and I am the most excited in that moment. I love public speaking. I love helping people and talking to people. And when I'm doing that, I'm very happy. I don't like details. I don't like administration. I don't like getting locked into repetitive systems. I like studying, I like reading, and I like learning, but I want to do what I want to learn. I don't want to have to sit and have someone give me a syllabus and say, here's all the things you have to read, whether you want to or not. It's like, no, I can't. That's really hard for me. Now, I can either ignore that and try to be someone I'm not, or I can live into my authentic self and learn how to balance that with responsibility. I'm a father, and I'm a husband, and I'm a pastor, and with that comes responsibilities. I take responsibility for what I put on this YouTube channel and those of you who are watching, and I'm trying to help you. So my words will carry weight with someone, maybe with you. And I take that very seriously. And so there are times when you just have to show up to do the work. But you need to have an outlet for your authentic personality or you will get discouraged. Again, the quickest way to anger and depression is to live in a way that is inconsistent with who you are. So 2 things. I think we've gone a little over 10 minutes here. Here's 2 things I want you to focus on and to think about. And leave a comment for me and let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know if you know who you are authentically. And let me know if you've been living in a way that's contrary to that and how it's making you feel. And I want to encourage you to break free from that. And I'll talk more about that in other videos. But for right now, I want you to think of 2 things. 1, do you know who you are authentically? Do you know who you are? Whether it's personality type or values, what's important to you, what motivates you, what makes you tick, what lights your fire. Do you know the answer to those questions? If not, then spend some time thinking about it, because I bet with a little bit of thought, it'll become obvious to you. It's probably been who you are your entire life. Secondly, are you living in a way that's consistent with that, that feeds that? If the answer to that second question is no, then you'll need to start thinking about what you can do to bring those 2 things into alignment. I'm not advocating a lack of responsibility, but authenticity matters. Figure out what drives you and do work that's consistent with that. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Thanks so much for watching. I really, really mean that. I'm so excited about this channel and about growing and about what we can do together. And we're just getting started. If you're watching this several years from now and the channel's already grown and we have a lot of subscribers, it's still just as important to me that you're watching. So thank you. And I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I'll see you in the next video.